What's up, Ramblers? Welcome to our midweek podcast where we review a movie or a TV show. This week we have The Little Things on HBO Max. Here's a quick synopsis.
Deputy Sheriff Joe Deacon joins forces with Sergeant Jim Baxter to search for a serial killer who's terrorizing Los Angeles. As they track the culprit, Baxter is unaware that the investigation is dredging up echoes of Deke's past, uncovering disturbing secrets that could threaten more than his case. So this was a new movie that came out in theaters and on HBO Max same day.
Yep.
So that's why it drew our interest to this movie.
And it drew my interest because of who was in this cast.
True. It did have a great cast.
You got Denzel Washington, who I'll watch anything he's in. I will watch anything Denzel's in. I love Rami because of Mr. Robot, and he was a good Freddie Mercury.
It's Remy, pretty sure.
What did I say?
Rami, like
Sorry.
like Romney.
Sorry, my bad. Yes, my bad. And Jared Leto's decent, but I'll let you. I don't. I have my like statement of what I want to say about this movie, but I don't want it to like I don't want to say it too early. I guess.
Fair. So I watched this movie expecting it to be very scary based on the review, kind of what it's going to be, right?
Yeah.
Or at least suspenseful in any way.
Yeah.
Because it falls under the suspense category. And I personally did not feel it was a very suspenseful movie.
Yeah.
Right. I don't want to give any spoilers away in these podcasts, right? I'm not going to tell
Oh
you.
no, these podcasts are full of spoilers. We need to say that.
Okay.
These are spoiler heavy podcasts. I'm going to tell you that right now. There's no timestamps or anything. We will spoil this movie and TV shows. I'm going to be real right now.
The whole 20, 30 minutes we will talk about this podcast and spoil it.
Yes. So if you're listening and you haven't watched it and you want to watch it, pause right now. Otherwise, we're about to spoil it. And they've had enough time to pause.
A big thing for me in movies is when you see a dog, right? So opening scene, or one of the opening scenes. It's not the opening scene, but pretty early.
5 or 10 minutes in.
Yeah, you see Deacon, right, say goodbye to this dog. That's a homeless dog from the area he lives in. I was really under the impression that dog was going to die. Dogs always die in movies like that, and that's a heavy place for me. You lost me there. You lost my interest at that point because I was under the impression the dog died. Spoiler, doesn't die. Dog doesn't die.
Gosh.
It has nothing to do with the movie.
Yeah. Yes. Agreed. So this movie, because I was looking into it, so it's based in 1990.
Yep.
To me, it started off mad suspenseful. Like I was like I mean that opening scene where the poor girl's driving, she's getting chased down, she goes to the thing and then she jumps in front of the 18-wheeler.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to kind of bring something up about that. I don't know if you recall this or if this is just me like picking something up. So it's based in 1990. And so the opening scene, this girl's driving.
Yeah.
And then this other car comes flying up behind her. And then he pulls up in front of her and down the road. We have like 500 or 600 feet. And he's just sitting there. She goes flying by him and then he's following her again. She's freaked out. She's crying. She gets out of the car and she goes running. She pulls into this gas station. She goes and you know how she kicked on the door?
Yeah.
I thought that this was like the guy's like his MO for where he picks girls up. Because if you look, when she kicks on that door is already kicked in those spots. Where someone would kick the door, like to like try and open it.
Huh.
So I was like, oh, that's going to be like a main thing. No, they never went back to that place ever.
No, they never went back. Never saw it again.
But I noticed like, because I was like, okay, why are they so set on 1990? This movie was written in 1993.
Really?
Yeah. That's how long it's been sitting on the table to be freaking made.
Or what?
Do what?
They just couldn't find the right actors, or
I don't know if there's actors or directors who wanted to take it, whatever. But I looked it up. This movie was written in '93, and it explains a lot. That's all I'm going to say.
Well, what's weird is like when they were in the shooting, like scenes in the police office, in the police station, they were all using typewriters. In '93, computers were a thing.
But were they like a thing for like police?
I mean, not like they are now.
Right.
But they at least existed. Yeah. And I figure a police station would at least have one.
But when did internet like really become a thing?
I couldn't tell you.
Because I mean, they may have still been like the old school kind of thing, but yeah, I mean, they were like super 90s.
Yeah, super. I mean, pagers. I mean, I wrote in my little notes as I was writing this down is I really enjoyed the '90s vibe though.
Yeah, agreed,
Like the
agreed.
pagers, the old school dressing, the cars, like it really took me back to like that older time.
Yeah.
Um, Remy, I don't know how to say his last name. I'm not going to butcher it on here. Was phenomenal.
Wow, 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 wow. We're already starting off different.
Was phenomenal. Minus his stupid lip thing that he does, because I can't get over like what he. All I saw the whole time was Freddie Mercury when he did his little lip thing. But I thought he was a great actor. I thought he was
I,
great.
I thought he was horrible. I loved him as an actor. I thought that was a bad, bad, bad casting for that character.
Yeah,
He doesn't play that kind of character. He would have been better off playing Jared Leto's character.
Jared Leto was not good at all either.
Awful, horrendous.
Denzel was the only good person in that show, in that movie.
Agreed.
I
And
mean,
it wasn't like Denzel was even like I feel like he wasn't even trying hard.
no, but I mean, Remy was. For me, it would be Denzel. My fan is spinning, but the fan's not on.
Aren't
I'm sorry, that was really weird. I
your
looked
house
up.
is haunted. Your
I just
house is
saw it
haunted.
moving.
Get out.
For me, it would be Denzel being number one, Remy being number two, Jared Leto being number three. Obviously, have the big names.
I mean, I'll agree with that, but no, I mean, I had in my thing in my notes that Malik's not casted well. Great actor, but not a part for him. Like he's more of the bad guy, weirdo. He's not this like the clean cut good cop like that kind of vibe.
Yeah, I mean, he's an odd looking actor.
I don't think he's odd looking because like just his look, but I think the way he like moves his face and he talks and then I think he's just a weird person because like his eyes, even like when he's supposed to be this character, his eyes are like just always fidgety and wiry.
Yeah, that's
Like
true.
like he's always watching out for something.
That's true. That's true. I also did not like the coroner. Not
Okay.
the coroner, the coroner,
Yeah.
the person who deals with the dead bodies, right? I feel like they're all like super weird. Always. Like
Always.
Ducky and from NCIS and like those type of things. Like that's where I relate.
Scrubs.
Yeah,
I mean, I'm not Scrubs. Sorry, Psych.
Psych. It's always just they're always just
Woody.
super weird.
Yeah, always. I mean,
Always.
it makes sense when they're dealing with dead bodies all the
I
time.
say to do that job, I guess you have to be kind of weird, right?
Yeah.
So, that was interesting to look at. But the movie as a whole, as I continued to watch it, something was just odd about it. Like it never fully made sense to me. There was never a full depiction of a story.
Never. It sucked. This movie sucked to me. I've been biting my tongue. I can't get it. I got to get it out. This movie sucked so much.
I agree. This was a very bad movie.
And how did I explain this? Did I not type it out? Because I know what I said. Oh yeah, I put, Jared Leto is such a weirdo in this freaking movie. He didn't even need to be like a primary character. There was absolutely no point for it. But this movie felt like the equivalent when you're watching a TV show. It's a filler episode. It's one of those episodes where it didn't need to be in the season. This movie didn't need to exist.
Correct.
This was just a movie like this would have been a filler episode in a TV show. It's like it was just like it felt like just one long scene of like just nothingness.
It was a 2-hour movie that literally was the slowest movie I've ever watched.
And,
like the building to get anywhere just took forever.
And spoiler, it got nowhere. You don't find out anything at the end.
No.
And it's not like one of those ones where your mind can like you can make up your own thing. Like the writer was so good. 50 million people have these different ideas, and you're like, oh, that guy has a great idea. It's better than my idea. No. This you sat there and you're like, why did I just waste 2 hours of my freaking life?
Correct. Like the turning point for me in the movie was when Remy and I forget his name, Sergeant Baxter, I guess, was out there on the payphone trying to call Deacon, and Jared Leto walks out of the apartment, holds a finger gun, and goes boom, and Remy like freaks out and like puts him under arrest and drives him somewhere to the middle of nowhere. And like, what was the point of that? From a cop standpoint, if someone walks behind you and goes boom, and you put them under arrest, and then you don't even really put them under arrest. You then get in a car with them, drive what seemed like 9 days away.
Yeah, well, no. So that scene right there, the phone was ringing. That's why Rami got out of the car.
That's right. You're right.
And then he didn't do the finger guns until the desert. So he just ran up and said, "Boo."
Oh, I thought he did.
And
I
then
thought he said boom, like
no,
shoot.
no, no, like boo, like I scared you.
Got
And
it.
Rami freaking lost his mind because he's like so sleep deprived and he's already on edge. So he just decided, I'm gonna whip out my gun and go.
That was literally rough. I mean, and the title of it, right? It's what is it? It's the little things or the little things.
The little things.
Like it was like with a title like that, right? You're expecting these investigators or these detectives, right, to notice little things in crime scenes that make big depictions and change the course of the outlook and all this type of stuff. But that wasn't it at all.
Right.
There was none of that. Like there was one, at the end of the thing, you know, um, when they're trying to bury Jared Leto because they've killed him. You know, Denzel's like, remember, it's the little things that you have to make sure you pay attention to, and that was
Right.
like it.
Yeah.
Like there was no like little things in the one crime scene that they had where that girl died because they only had one crime scene.
Yep.
The one crime scene they had where she died, they weren't even like looking at the little things. Like he looked out a window and saw that there was another window across, and the blinds were open, and he just went over there. Like it wasn't really little. From me watching cop shows and these different things, like that's something you check.
Right. Right. Right.
It just it was a slow movie. I'm trying to think. Oh, like, and it fell into a lot of categories of me of like cliche, right?
Mhm.
The killer's a weirdo, supposedly.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
the killer has a compartment in his apartment,
Apartment.
right? Like under a rug. Like how stupid and cliche is that? That's every
Mhm.
freaking killer. Like come up with something a little different. Um, you know, like they're they're trying like the cops make a mistake in the police station, right, when they're trying to interview, trying to protect this girl because she might have seen something,
Right.
and
Right.
like they let her go to the bathroom, and the person that's supposed to be watching her is like, actually, I'm gonna go do something else. Like, where does that come from?
Yeah. Yeah.
You get
90s.
told to do a
Welcome to
job.
the 90s.
Like, it's just absolutely ridiculous.
Exactly. I mean, it was just such a blah movie.
I agree. I
Like,
agree.
there was only like there was one really good line in it I actually liked is
Okay.
when he was in the crime scene's apartment and the landlord of the apartment comes in and she's like, "How do you get used to it?" He's like, "Get used to what?" And she's like, "The smell of dead bodies." And he said, and I wrote it down because it was so good. He said, "If you're lucky, you don't get used to it."
Yeah.
And that's pretty wild. That was a wild line to me because like you would think you'd want to get like, but then you think like no, you don't want to get used to it because once you get used to it, then you're okay with seeing dead bodies all the time.
Correct.
So then as a cop, like you're really not trying that hard to find the killer. Like if I find him, I find him. Otherwise, oh well. There's going to be another dead body tomorrow.
Correct.
So that was a great line. I'm glad he delivered it, Mr. Denzel, because he can pull it off. He
Yeah,
can
you could
say
say it
it.
along like that, and it has the impact that it needs to have.
Yes,
'Cause
yes,
I thought it was dumb that they drove out to the desert and he's like, "This is where I buried the girl or the girls, whatever," and he just makes Remy dig and dig and dig and dig. Like that was just strange to me.
yeah.
Like,
I think he was just screwing with them.
but why would you continue to dig?
That great question. Great question. That's yeah.
Why not? Why not put him under arrest? Call it in, freaking page it in, put a gun to his head, like do something. But you're just continually digging a hole. And what I thought the whole time during that scene is because the way he was digging, his gun was on his right hip towards Jared Leto.
When he did the finger gun thing, I thought, and he started walking closer, I was like, he's gonna reach for your gun and blow your freaking head off.
Correct.
Get out of there.
I was like, as a cop, why are you like what?
Yeah. Yeah.
And then hits him with a shovel, right? Whatever, kills him, and then you know, obviously Denzel shows up and they start to bury him and whatever. You know, I'll be back in a few hours. I did like the final scene, um, where he's like, this was a package for you, Remy, or whatever," and opened it up and it was that girl's red beret. Obviously, it wasn't the real girl's red beret. He went and bought a beret, but I did
Right.
like that kind of tying that in, just because it shows that, and you don't know. I'm not talking about real world scenario,
Right. Right.
but like cops hide things for each other.
Right. 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 No,
You
no.
know,
Real world, they do it.
I mean, I'm sure they do to some extent, but like, you know, went out and bought a beret. But like, to me, couldn't that be traceable? I mean, once again, cameras may not have been a thing back in the 90s as well and all this type of stuff, but like he bought a beret, he sent a beret, you take it to the parents' house, there's no hair ever attached to the beret because I imagine, with you putting it in your hair and running, hair is going to get caught in it,
Well, I
different
think
things.
him sending that was being like, "Hey, get rid of this."
Why wouldn't he just what? No way. I think it was like
Like, "Hey, I covered you. Like, here's my secret. I know yours. Here's mine."
no, so the red beret wasn't the person that Denzel killed.
Who is it
The
from?
red beret was that jogger girl where it was a guy and a girl, and he was like, "Do you want me to jog you home?" And she's like, "It's 3 blocks, I'll be fine."
Uh huh.
And
Uh huh.
she jogs home.
She was wearing
But
a red beret.
yeah, because when Remy talks to the parents about it, the mom says she always wears a red beret when she runs. Like that's how you'll know
That
it's her.
part. I missed that part.
Oh,
Okay. Okay.
it wasn't worth anything. And so Denzel goes and buys a pack of berets, sends the red one to Remy, is basically like saying, hey, it's okay. This guy was really a killer. You're good. Like trying to push it off like you did a good thing, even though Jared Leto was never really the killer.
Gotcha. Okay. Okay. I didn't pick up on that at all. Okay.
So it was cool, right? It was a nice ending scene
Yeah.
because no one knows. Well, Sal, right? So Sal knows that Denzel shot that guy, and one other, and obviously the coroner.
Yeah.
Uh, but only those two people know that Denzel shot that girl.
Yeah. And his partner at the time. So like the commander, the partner, and then the coroner.
That's right. That's right. Yeah, yeah. So, which once again, kind of interesting. All
Mm,
these different things that's hidden and backs up and does all this different stuff. It's all very weird to me.
yes. Yes.
It's good, but it's just all very weird.
Yeah. No. I mean, it was just yeah. It was there was no like no highs or lows of the movie. It was all just one low.
Yeah, just one low, and it was very mole. And there was never like a point where I sat up and I was like, I'm super interested. Like I was struggling to stay awake through that whole movie.
Totally agree. Like I'm telling you, like the very first scene, that opening scene, my heart was like, I was like, oh boy, this is gonna be a movie. This is gonna be a movie. And the moment she knelt in front of that 18 wheeler, it stopped for her, cuts to black, says the little things. The moment that happened, that first scene then came on, it was over. The movie stunk.
Yeah,
It
it
just
was just it was a
rolled
terrible
downhill.
movie. If and since we're rating it, right? Because I want to get to the rating and kind of talk about what we're projected for the next steps here. Because I don't want this to be too terribly long of a podcast, realistically, because it's just a
Mhm.
little snippet of these. Um, but I would rate it very, very low. I mean,
Oh yeah, I mean it's mid 40s, like low 40s for me. Probably like a 40s. I was gonna say 47. That's high 40s. 43. I'd give it a 43 for me.
I'm showing you on my phone because I don't want you to call me a liar. But you see that number right there? I wrote a
No, we
43.
both gave it a
I
43.
literally wrote a 43 in my notes prior to this podcast without talking to you at
Wow,
all.
that's good.
That's how you know the ratings like spot on.
We're dead on. Yeah, it stunk, people. It stunk. I mean,
Don't waste your 2 hours. Honestly, if you haven't watched it, listen to this podcast as a
I know.
synopsis.
That's how we should have started the podcast.
Honestly, listen.
Don't watch it.
Do not watch it. It is a waste of time. It
Yeah.
will waste 2 hours for you. If you need a waste of 2 hours, I can come up with something that's better.
There's so many other movies you could watch that'll waste much time. Oh my gosh, there's worse movies you could watch that will waste more time than this junker.
I.e., Wonder Woman 1984.
I'd rather watch that one than watch this one again.
Yeah, because it wasn't worth your time. There was nothing good that came out of it.
Nothing.
We both gave it a 43, which is
Yes.
crazy because we on it. Honest to God, he finished this movie 30 minutes ago.
Yeah, I finished it this evening. I was wrong. I had the last 35 minutes left because I was watching it the other day and I was like, I could have stayed awake that night, honestly. Like, it wasn't late, but I was so disappointed is the biggest word for it. I was so looking forward to this movie.
Yep.
I honestly thought this could be like a top 2021 movie. I should have known better because it came out in freaking February, but a dumb thought of mine. But whatever. So, or January, whenever it came out. But I that night I was like, I'm much rather just go lay in bed and go to sleep. Which is like never.
Forced myself to go to sleep. What a dumb shame.
It was very disappointing. I mean, it's just man, I'm bummed. I'd like having those three. They're all great actors. I think they've
Yep.
all They've all won an Oscar.
I know Remy and Denzel have.
I think Jared Leto did for. I think Dallas Buyers Club was his movie.
Okay, I just know it was the Freddie Mercury movie and Denzel. Who knows?
He's had numerous.
Yeah. So it was a big letdown. I'm hoping our next movie, which we did get as a recommendation from a listener. So shout out to you, Matthew.
If this shows we'll still pick whatever we want. But if you have a recommendation, legit send it in because we'll most likely do it.
Absolutely. So this one is from Matthew, one of our family that live in South Carolina.
Good family friend.
San Francisco.
Yeah, it was the help.
Yeah, San Francisco. And he says we should watch Safety on Disney Plus. Yes. So I've never seen it. I've never heard of it. I know nothing about it. I know it from what he did tell me. All he told me is it's a football movie.
Clemson Tigers is who it's on.
It's about the Clemson Tigers?
In some way, whether the movie is that's the football team they're using, but yes, it's something to do with Clemson Tigers.
Huh. Okay.
Yeah.
Didn't know that. Mm-hmm. So I think that'll be, our podcast for next week. We'll kind of spend this week watching it, diving into it. We don't talk about the movies before we get on these podcasts.
No.
We don't compare thoughts. We want it to be fully genuine and just whatever we write down in our notes on our phone or laptop or wherever we keep our notes.
Yeah.
Just to be fun with it, to see where we score, right? And, eventually, we may keep a document somewhere that keeps our scores of what the movies are so we can, so you'll know what our top fives are at all time if you ever want to look back and see kind of where we're, what movies we've seen and what we've watched. But we'll end up watching Safety on Disney Plus. So if you have Disney Plus and you want to start that watching process, I'm not going to lie to anyone. I probably will not watch it until Friday or Saturday, because you want to make sure you can talk about it, right? If I go and watch it, early in the week, then I won't be able to be prepared
right
when it becomes time to sit and talk about it.
But the little things sucked. So disappointing. I'm still so mad about it. I'm so bummed. And now, it just puts a sour taste in my mouth for this year because, there's so many movies I'm looking forward to. Especially the one I want to do. I think in 2 weeks, 3 weeks, I'll get the first sure name next week. But that one, I'm so excited about more so than I was this one. I'm just what if this one sucks too?
Yep, exactly. Can't have any expectations for these movies anymore.
No. Yeah, and one of the Netflix movies, the first one they released in January, Outside the Wire, sucked also.
I'm telling you, we got a big group of suckage movies. Hopefully, Safety breaks us out of that role, and we can keep going and build onto some good ones.
Yes. Because if we don't have a movie above 50, after next week, I'm gonna be really upset.
I'm gonna be pretty bummed too. We need some good movies.
Yes, and we'll hopefully. I'm if I had to guess, the next one's gonna be a tearjerker, guaranteed it.
Oh, I'm not a crier in movies though, so we'll see.
No, I am. I'm a big old baby. But for Chris and Austin in the midweek episode, we love you guys, and we will see you on Sunday.